Wish. All right, so tell me about your birthday.
Oh, amazing. I'm going to continue to celebrate the rest of the year.
Rest of the year?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, you'll be on your own. I can't participate because I can't party like we did last weekend. No.
I know, but that was really special last weekend. So,
hey, everybody. She's back, y'all. Lord have mercy. Mistress Angela is back. It's the first Sunday of the month. So you know what that means? Sex. Because our acronym is SHIT. You know what we say, black don't crack, but what about the other shit? And SHIT is an acronym that stands for sex, health, interest, and truth. And today is our sex segment. So we have our resident sexologist with us, Mistress Angela. Before we get started, I wanted to address something that we addressed on the live show, but we didn't have that many viewers for our first live show, which is fine. We know it's gonna get bigger. And so there was a question that was asked about what makes Mistress Angela qualified. You know, we always got to get, for ourselves, in our community, we always got to make sure you got a whole bunch of paper. So can you tell everybody what makes you qualified to be the sexologist on about this aging thing?
Wow. So I've been studying and I have certifications from years and years of work. The type of sexuality I talk about is a neo-tantra. And neo-tantra is really about holistic sexuality, sensuality. How do you bring everything to the table? So my latest certification was with a group using a neo-tantra method with teaching, how do you teach people that type of sexuality. Mm-hmm. That was the most recent certification. I also have holistic healing. I have Reiki, reflexology. Mm-hmm. I've studied with many ministers, Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, Afrocentric Ifa. Mm-hmm. So I've studied a large gamut for many years on sexuality and what it looks like in our community.
Okay, thank you.
Was that decent?
That was good. And guess what? It's the last time I'm gonna ask that. Okay.
If we need to show the papers, we can put the papers up. And actually, I want to say one thing though, that this is truly my art form. Mm-hmm. That I'm actually working with the program. I'm applying to get my master's and PhD in Tibetan Tantra. So it's really about what I do. It's all about what I do.
So I think I said this. I don't even mention this on the live show, but I know I say to you, I'm not calling her Dr. Mistress. I'm not calling her Dr. Angela. I mean, I'm going to be proud of her. I'll be bragging about her, but we can't call her doctor because she won't know how to act.
Dr. Good.
So, Dr. Good. That's really not happening. The other question is, why do you call yourself Mistress? Because, some people, that's a negative connotation for some people. They think, does that mean you are committing adultery? Look, that just shows you how old some of our audience people are. But go ahead.
So the why, the why. So can I have a sip really quick before I do the why?
Sip. What you drinking on today? Y'all know we drink. That's a little champagne, y'all.
Yes, I got champagne for my birthday. It was a birthday drink.
Yeah, a little champagne. I'm drinking a little dark something.
A little something. It's kind of dark over there.
Coke, a little something. And cheers to you.
Yes, cheers.
All those qualifications you got.
Thank you.
So tell us about your name, Mistress.
So you're right. There is a negative connotation with the word mistress, which is why I use it. And also, it's me owning all that I am. Mm-hmm. Often I talk about I have a full life, we know, and I worked in adult entertainment for a period of time. And I was a very popular mistress, right? I did not have sex. I did not do anything illegal, but I was a dominatrix. Mm-hmm. So my name was Mistress Erica at that time. Mm-hmm. And it's really about owning all of that and teaching women how to embrace that mistress inside of them. So it's mistress, it's wifey, because that's a part of who we are as women. And we lose that as we live. Mm-hmm. We put our sexuality to the side. And mistress is really about bringing that back together and being all that you are and still owning your sensuality.
Wow. Thank you for that transparency. That's excellent. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about, last point before we get to what our subject matter is today, is the Q&A that we had with you last month. When we had 3 questions, I chose 3 questions from people who have sent us questions like we asked, and you answered those questions. That went really well. People really love that. So we're going to have that as part of our segment on some of the shows. Okay. We'll bring you 3 questions, maybe 2, depending on how long the rest of the show might have to be. And then I'll read the question with my glasses this time. Last time I was like, and then Mistress Angela will answer the questions. You can also DM her on Instagram at the Wifey Life Tribe. Did I say that right?
Yes.
If you have questions you want to send directly to her, you can. That's okay with you. Right.
Back shirt.
All right. Oh, that's a nice shirt. Y'all see the front of the shirt? Look at the front of the shirt. It says Cherry Popper. It's a problem.
Thank you, Conceited Crochets.
Oh, is that who did that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Say that again.
Conceited Crochets.
Nice.
Here
Very
in
nice.
Atlanta.
Do they make the outfits too? No, that's somebody else.
No.
The crochet outfits.
Yeah, they make the sweaters and that type of thing, and they do shirts and stuff.
I know what that is. Okay, I know who you're talking about now. I got you. All right, so today we're talking about aging sexually. And let me tell you where this came from. It was not on my spreadsheet.
It wasn't at home.
It was not on my spreadsheet. I had to pivot. Now, I have a spreadsheet from here to December on all the shows and the subject matter and who's going to be doing it. Anybody who knows me knows that's true. But I pivoted because there was a group of us out and we were having an authentic conversation, very natural. We were having margaritas, just talking as women. And we started talking about some people have had some challenges with sexual positions, as we are all aging, because they're not the only ones aging. We're all aging. Some of us are luckier than others as far as pain goes, or the threshold goes, or being able to do certain position goes. So we were having a conversation. There was one person there who had never hung out with us before, and they were like, is this really what you guys are talking about? So, and they enjoyed it. So I was like, we're going to discuss that on the show, because I know a lot of people, I say this all the time, like we have these conversations behind closed doors, and I know people are wanting to have these conversations. I know other people have it. We're not the only group of people having the conversations, but to be 50 in the 50 plus community and have these conversations, I think is amazing.
Absolutely.
Also, we, I know a lot of people just don't think about what we are going through as we get older. And I was thinking about this when we were talking. I was thinking about looking at my mom. She had to be 60 when I was looking at her once. She was so beautiful. She was going to a party. She had this beautiful outfit on. And my friend was over, and my friend was like, well, your mom gonna get all the men tonight. And I was thinking, my mom don't do that. My mom never brought a man to the house, right? So I was like, it just hit me, because for someone else to see her that way as a sexual being, because she had on like the old school 70s hot pants with the skirt that matched, that zipped up the front, and then the skirt had the embroidery going down the middle, and then the shorts were cuffed in the same embroidery. She was hot. I was like, oh my God, my mom was gorgeous. But did it ever occur to me that a man would try to talk to her? No. But when she said that, I was like, my mom don't.
You clutched your pearls.
And now I'm at that age. Now I'm like, yes, we do. All right. So anyway, we're gonna have that conversation today. I have a couple of questions from Mistress Angela. The first question I have, and then we're gonna veer off to something, to what she wants to talk, how she wants to address it yourself. Okay.
Understood.
But have you had the opportunity to talk to someone whose sex life is being challenged by aging? And if so, can you give us a couple of examples, and then like, how did you help them, if at all?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the biggest things we have issues with as we get older is body aches and pains, right? Sometimes it's your hip, sometimes it's your back, oh my God, I got up wrong. We're at that phase in life where those things happen. And I had a client once, and she had did something to her thigh or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she couldn't really put pressure on her legs. And she really wanted to have the holiday sex that her and her partner had gotten accustomed to. That's another conversation.
Holiday sex? Okay.
Where people just have sex on special occasions. That part.
Okay. I'm not laughing because I know that's real.
That's a real thing,
I know that's
right?
real. Birthdays.
Right.
Yeah, I know that's
real. She really was trying to figure out how to get that back, right? And it was something coming up, and she was just in her head. You know how when we get to a certain age, we get fixated on a certain thing. And we're going to make that one thing happen regardless of what happens, right? So she had planned that she wanted to do something really special for her partner. And she was like, oh my God, I bought this outfit. I wanted to really show him I was turned on by him and just do all this stuff. And she messed up whatever she did to her leg. So she called me and was like, Kim, what can I do? And I was like, oh my God, I got the idea for you. What's your favorite position? Because it's really about positions in your body as well. And there are tools that you can use. So her favorite position was doggy style, right? So she couldn't put any weight down on her knees or legs. So I told her, and I don't have I won't do a demonstration. But anyway, if you have somebody hold you by your waist, like if your partner's behind you, and they can take that weight off your hips and your legs, if they just wrap a cloth or it's a band that you can use. If you have any type of bondage stuff in your house, you can use it for different things, right? Or maybe a towel, but that might be a little irritating. But if you have something you can get some leverage on, and whoever you're with, they can take that weight off of you where you can still penetrate, you can still have a good time and not causing additional issues to your injury. Let me say that. So that's one thing. So thinking about outside the box for favorite things that you like to do with your physical ailments is a huge thing I see a lot of.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Because, you know, I've seen that at the hospitals helping people when you put the band around. You can use that band for.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
So being
that's
creative. You know, you have, if you like the wedge pillows, you have the wedge pillows you can use sometime. If you like being on your back, well, let's figure out how type of cushion you can put on your back so your partner can pick you up. How do they need to pick you up? You adjust, right? Another thing is a lot of times men like for women to ride them, but that can be kind of hard on your knees or your knee.
Yeah, 50 plus. Yeah,
it can be
60
right?
plus,
right?
70 plus. Yeah.
So how do you do that and still be comfortable and can do that for longer than 60 seconds? They have these little stools that you can use. You know, you can have something that you can sit on where it's an open stool, it's a sex stool, and it's an open little thing, and you can just sit on that stool like you use in the bathroom almost, and do their thing. And you have something supporting your weight. Your knees are up. You're not necessarily crushing your partner by putting, if they have issues, because both of us have issues, right? If it's a male partner, if they have issues with their hips.
I'm trying to see it.
So it's like a little step stool almost, but it's like maybe two clear plastic things on the side. Okay. So you're sitting like this. Right. It's an open space.
So the man is sitting on the stool and the woman's sitting on them?
Whichever. Usually if you're riding on top, you're going to sit on the top.
Oh, and the stool, he's under the stool. Gotcha.
Right. Kind of like a little barrier, but like a seat between the two.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And that's called a sex stool. And you can find it at any Walmart. No, I'm joking.
We can talk about where you can find it. But go online, Google it. But if you still can't find it, you too
Google sex stool. Got it. Okay.
Google it. But if you don't, then just reach out to me. But it's different things you can do. If you oral sex, you can use a stool for that too. Right. If it's certain positions you like, and you're really trying to get, it was really about the sexual position, using tools that you have. If it's a chair. Come up with some stuff in your household that you can use to somebody on the set just looked it up. I love your camera crew. I love your camera crew.
They are so out of control.
So it's facts
and unprofessional. All right, so anyway, we're gonna move on from there. So it does exist. Someone on the crew just found it.
We just helped somebody.
Go ahead. Yeah. And they're excited because y'all know the camera crew is 50 plus.
I mean, we're all sexual beings, right?
Plus. Everybody's 50 plus.
We're all sexual beings, and if I can help somebody today, I have done my job for the day.
And I can't even look at her right now because I can't look. Okay, so anyway, thank you, Mr. That was good.
Did that help?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course. All right. So, what hurdles do you hear the most from men in our 50 plus community? What's the one, other than hypertension, sometimes we'll keep them from getting erections. But as far as like physical, because we're talking about how to modify, I forgot to say that part. We want to talk about how to modify positions for the 50 plus community who may need that. Yeah. For those who don't need it, I understand. You don't have to say, I don't need that because
Well, let me say though, even if you don't need it, it's fun to try to add some excitement to your sex life. Like go to the sex store together, pick out a toy. Right. And it doesn't have to be a vibrator or a dildo or anything. It could be like I said, the stool, the sex stool. Try it. It's fun. The wedge. Try it. It's fun. Try pulling your partner from the back. Oh my God. He's gonna feel with men. You get that testosterone buildup, like, oh man, I'm knocking this out the park. And you are, because you really you got a good grip.
Listen, y'all, this is a safe space to discuss, demystify, and redefine aging in our community. Absolutely. So this is where we're going to have these conversations. This is the best place to have these conversations. Absolutely. So make sure you share it with your friends and tell them to watch our show because we're talking about a lot of great things. So thank you. So the challenge, did you answer? I'm sorry, because I know we're kind of laughing at the crew and any physical challenges for men other than the hypertension erection piece. Have you had anybody say that?
Yeah, I would say again, it still goes with the physical ailment piece or the weight gain. A lot of times,
there you go.
The middle section, that weight gain, that's a huge challenge. And how do you get in certain positions if you are challenged in different ways? If your tummy, your beer tummy has grown into a big beer tummy, and you're having some challenges with that, how do you compensate for that?
Right.
And that's a huge thing. So again, it's modified positions. A great position for the 50+ community. For anybody, if you haven't tried it, is like from your side, right? So if you're laying to your side, I'm not gonna really demonstrate, but this leg is kind of up. I got this one up here, and you're on the side, right? So it takes the pressure off both partners, right? So it's a great position if you like it from the back. If you want to move the leg to the side, if you can stretch it, if you can stretch your legs, then you can kind of flip to the front. So it's a great alternative position for people.
That's a good one. So you don't want to lay on the floor and demonstrate? I'm just playing.
That's the live show.
So speaking of stretching now, I will say that it's important to stretch prior to a session. I call them sessions.
Yes.
It's important to stretch your body, touch your toes, turn your neck, get yourself together before you do a session.
So yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Yes. So taking time with yourself first, right? It takes us longer to warm up as we get older because we have so many different things going on. So to get into the mind space of being present with your partner, sometimes it takes some of us longer. So if it's a glass of wine, if it's, you taking a shower and moisturizing your body. I've talked about that before, but getting yourself in that mental space for it is a huge, huge part for both male and female, and intentionality.
Yeah, I would also say playing to your strengths. Now, what I mean by that is, like you were talking about, if you got to take the weight off your back or the weight off your legs, play to your strengths. So if you got a strong upper body, then maybe you need to do some positions that allow you to push up on your upper body and take the weight off your knees. And so I would say to play to your strengths.
Yes. And find out what your partner likes, right?
Yes.
Because your strength might not be something I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Or it may not be giving me the most pleasure.
But how to use it, right?
How can we modify that position?
Right.
And one of the biggest things I hear a lot of men about, that sometimes they want to introduce different things to their partner. And women being okay having toys around, and both sexes actually being okay and comfortable trying different things. That's a huge conversation.
Some men who feel threatened by that. They feel like they're not enough. And women too, because now men have toys, very interesting ones actually.
Yes, they do.
And some women feel like, some women don't even want men looking at another woman on TV or video. Right. They feel insecure about that, but they don't. Sometimes it takes that visual stimulation, like you were saying, to get them going. All right, I have another question.
Oh, another question? Okay. Make sex fun. I'm sorry. Okay. For your question. Make it fun.
Make it fun. Yeah. Laugh about it. And laugh at being able to laugh at yourself, right? What are the things that can be done prior to sex to help an aging body have a great experience?
Cool. So one of the things, again, this is for my women, right? And we'll talk about the men in just one second, but women always first, is the dryness that we start to experience. A lot of us experience as we get older. If you're naturally a moist person that starts to change through menopause, what do? And not being embarrassed about using lube, right? So lube is a huge thing for women that we don't really know what to do with lube. I would say always use a silicone-based lube. Don't use your old school Vaseline or baby oil or lotion. I know that's something we've done in the past in our 20s, but really doing something that is good for your body that won't cause a yeast infection. How about that? Or cause some itching or some burning, right? Silicone lasts a lot longer. It has a slick texture. It's a nice lubricant. Better than spit, I would say, because I know a lot of men like to use spit when they do that type of thing, right? But the silicone's a little bit more, it's a little sexier. Just step up, level up. So the lubrication is a huge thing for women. My particular favorite lubrication when I like to use lubrication is a cannabis lubrication, right? Because it does a stimulation. I know.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I use it even if I don't need to use it sometimes because it just does a whole nother thing. Okay.
Is that on their website? Because I can speak to it if I don't know if that's on their website.
I'm not sure, but we can always.
Okay, yeah, we know where you can get that from.
Yes.
So just reach out to us and let us.
But it's a huge experience. and it's a silicone base. Hers is a biodegradable base, which is silicone is too. There's two different textures, but knowing what kind of texture you want to use in your lube is a huge thing. For men, so women keep lube with you at all times, right? Because you just never know when an occasion may occur. Stay ready. Stay ready. Stay ready. For men, a lot of times it's the erection itself. Or ejaculating too quickly. So I kind of touched on this a little bit about the holiday sex. So when you don't use something over a period of time, it's a lot of buildup. So it is not uncommon for men to ejaculate very quickly when you haven't had sex in 3 months.
Can we speak to that for a moment?
Sure.
Wait, I don't want to interrupt you. Finish your thought, and I won't forget.
So,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
When that happens, men tend to get in their head like, oh, what's going on? I can't keep it up. I don't know, whatever. But it's really the anticipation. If we keep putting people on a 3-month plan or a month plan, having intimacy or even just touch, not even sex, but just touch. When somebody touches you as a man and you're already desiring your partner, you're going to lose it. And then you got to come back for it. But by the time you come back to it, that partner's probably asleep or whatever the situation may be. But you're probably going to come to that conversation now. So men, just realize, maybe get one in before you meet up with your person.
Oh,
right?
That's smart.
And if you're uncomfortable with the thought of self-pleasure, then we can talk about it. That's what I do. So you can be comfortable with self-pleasuring first. So you can take something and that way you can last a little bit longer with your partner. If self-pleasure is not a thing, it's not that. It's maybe you get turned off by something your partner's doing. Men have huge turn-offs. We often think about how women are turned off, but men get turned off too. So knowing what your triggers are while you're not getting erect, the full erection.
What if they're a one-shot person? They can't do the one-off before they come see you.
So again,
what about the little blue pill?
Well, the blue pill is good too, but you want to make sure that you are. Before we get to the blue pill, let me digress. I'm a holistic person. If you're not taking care of your body, that's going to impact it. If you are overeating and sitting on the couch scratching your nuts every day, that's going to impact it. I mean, your body is going to only respond to what you give it. So one, I would say just do a self-inventory of where you are. If it's not meds, if it's not just you're not taking care of yourself, will impact your erection.
So you're saying the blue pill just been another something you're taking on top of everything else.
If you're already taking
hypertension,
5 pills, and you want to add the other pill, the side effect, something having a cross between all of those pills is going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen.
Right. That makes sense.
But if your doctor clears you for the blue pill, then bet. But also understand that your partner has to catch up with you with the blue pill, because if you haven't had sex in 6 months and she hasn't been with anybody else, if you don't have an open relationship, she's gonna be like, ouch. That's where the lube comes in, right? So really understanding why you want to take the blue pill. But sometimes it's just really them getting in the mood. Sometimes it's mostly mental. If you don't really if you're not attracted to your partner anymore, if it's your partner doesn't want to do this, doesn't want to do that, and push you in a very strict box, right? That limits your exploration sexually. So you shut down. Your body is automatically going to shut down. So it's a catch-22. But blue pills, if they work for you, then yes, by all means. I would just say make sure you have a clear weekend so you can keep reaping the benefits of that blue pill.
Oh, because it lasts all weekend?
Well, no, but I think once you get your partner started and you guys haven't done anything in a minute, you turn on the water faucet. That's a lot that needs to come out. So I need you to be prepared to take care of your partner. And if the blue pill is not an option, let's say erections are a challenge, right? Another way for women to really have a great time is body orgasms and clitoral orgasms. Oral sex is a huge part of it for women at this point. Even if they say they don't like it, usually it's because somebody didn't take the time to get to know them sexually, right? That's a huge part. Most women I know, if they have a orgasm or from you pleasing them orally, they're probably good. They can take a nap until you're ready to do something else.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff right there. So we're going back to the modification of positions. Wait, what am I trying to say? Modifying sexual positions. I don't want to lose the thought because we go. You know how we go. Yeah. So you gave a good one about standing up. Do you have? I'm gonna turn it over to you. As far as, is there anything else that you could think of that you want to share that we hadn't touched on yet, as far as the positions, before we go anywhere else?
The stretching. So, let your partner help you stretch. If you're a woman or if you're a man, if you're tight, you can add stretching into that to make it very sexy.
That's good.
Before you even get to the penetration part. If that's if your end game is penetration, then you might need to do some stretching. Spend some connection time, some touch time. Massage each other, right? Massage is a very nice turn on, and you can ease into it without just jumping into it. Yeah. As we get older, we don't like to just jump into cold water. We want to ease into it most of the time. Same thing with sex, kind of ease into it with the modifications and being honest. If I have a bad hip, which I do from time to time, I need to let my partner know. I need you to stretch my leg. Hey, not even in a sexy way, I can shift my position so you know it's comfortable for me. If I'm not comfortable speaking it while we're having a sex act.
Yeah, because when I was thinking about stretching, I was thinking about stretching myself. But I like
that's the partner stretching.
I like to be stretched because
so
it
make it right.
further than you
Absolutely.
can take yourself.
Do that before you have a session. Is that what you said? Session?
Well, that's what it is for me.
Okay.
Some people may not be a session, it might be a few minutes. I don't know. I wanted to ask you, does anybody? I'm sorry.
I need a sip.
It's not about me. Look, cheers.
It's about all of us.
Cheers for transparency. Transparency. Oh, okay. So hold on a second.
So while she's taking a sip, that's one of the reasons I'm going to circle back to something. Why I got into this, right? I've been doing this for years. I have many certifications. I'm always trained. I'm always want to go train and learn something else to improve myself. But in relationships or even as a single person, we are so out of touch with our physical desires and needs, and we put them to the side. And often we wonder why we feeling lonely and isolated, but we shut off the people that are closest to us. So teaching people to have that intimate connection while we're being moms, dads, parents, kids to elders, working in the community, dealing with kids' school, and your friends, and all the things that we deal with. We put that to the side so much, and that's a part of the joy factor that I do.
Right.
I bring joy back, right? And I do that through sexuality.
Yeah.
Through sensuality, by touching you like I'm touching you right now.
Right.
That feels good, doesn't it?
Not really.
Okay.
Because
I violate your space, right? But that's a good point, right?
I'm joking.
Having a conversation.
She
likes it when I touch her shoulder. But, even understanding violating somebody's space.
Right.
And we stay in our head so much with sex that we talk ourselves out of it before we even give it a chance to experience something very beautiful and loving that God gave us to experience with another person, as well as ourselves, that shouldn't be shameful.
Right.
And we have made it that way. So I do that. So that's why we doing all this fun stuff.
Yeah. So I was going to touch on what you just said. I think the other piece of it for some, I know it's not all of nothing, right? But for some women, and maybe some men as well, is that because you say we're in our heads, like that's right, but we can't enjoy it because we're too busy trying to define it. We're too busy trying to put a label on it. Thanks. We're too busy trying to figure out what it is and what it ain't, instead of just like, go ahead, tambourine lady.
Okay, thank you.
Instead of just like you just said, enjoying it, because we're in our heads like, oh, he's doing this to me. He must really love me. When in essence, he may not. Or it might be his way of, it might be his love language.
In our mind, we're like, oh, that's nasty that he's doing that. I don't
yeah. But it might be his love language to show you. I'm not saying that it's always that way. All I'm trying to say, I don't want to get all complicated because I was about to go deep in the weeds.
You about to go into the weeds.
Yeah, I was about to go into the weeds. All I'm saying is that try to be there in the moment, like you said. And in the moment for me is really enjoying it and not worrying about what it is. Absolutely. Not worrying about what's going to happen after this and what does it mean to you and where are we going from here for that moment.
Right.
There's a time and place for everything. And I just feel like when you're with someone intimately, you should just enjoy the intimacy of it. Whatever that means. Intimacy could be sitting on the couch watching a movie with a bowl of popcorn, or all the way to a whole full-blown session. So I just want to say that for clarity.
Yeah, because that's still an issue at this age. If you're single or married, it doesn't matter that intimacy is many things outside of just sex. I want to spend time with you. I want to connect with you. And if you're attracted to each other physically, that's going to happen. Right? So
and some of us use it as a weapon.
Oh, that's a huge thing with a lot of my male clients.
They use it as a weapon?
No, that their wives or their partners, women use it as a weapon. Women tend to use sex as a weapon more than men do. In different ways. Let me say in different ways. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't either.
Either you do or you don't. You will or you won't.
Enough said. Say less.
Oh, okay, Mistress Angela. Is there anything else you want to share with us? Because you know me, I'll be going all the way.
Yes.
I have something to share, but I want to wait for you to answer your question. Answer my question. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Look,
put the glass down.
Put the glass down. Put this glass right here. I'm sorry. Who made my drink? No, I'm just playing. I'm joking.
Wow, I think the last thing I would say is that sex can be amazing. Intimacy can be amazing at any age if we just open ourselves up to it and have conversation about it, and not just behind closed doors, not just with our girlfriends, but with the people we're having sex with, or that we want to have sex with, or we want to just spend time with. It won't change unless you change it. If you're not attracted to your partner, then let's dig into it. If it's a modified sex position you need, then let's dig into it. If you're not really feeling sex and you have some trauma, let's dig into it. I got you. If I don't have you, then I know somebody else that can take care of you, right? But let's dig into it because it's a huge part of our community that is demonized and monetized on it, that we don't really own as people of color, especially Black women over the age of 50 in the South. Let's just go ahead and put all that together. So we have not learned how to embrace that part of us, and that's really what this is all about. Male and women.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
So you guys, I want to tell
I do
you
this
that
a couple days a week.
if I look like I'm drifting off, I'm not. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm the same way at church. I look like, my daughter be like, Mom, fix your face. I was like, I'm listening. I'm trying to get what's being said. So Mrs. Angela, I'm trying to get that. Yeah, I'm in deep thought. I'm trying to get what she's saying and make sure I'm here. I'm present and in the moment. In case y'all like, what's she looking at? Nothing. I'm just really listening. A couple things I want to share. A quick story. A friend of mine years ago was, a few years ago. She said she was in the bed with a guy, right?
Oh, do tell.
Now, my friends are crazy and very, very transparent. Look at the crew. They're like, what's she about to say? So anyway, she said she was in bed with a guy and she had this 4-poster bed and she had something hanging from whatever. Okay. So anyway, she's swinging from it and she's having a blast, right? And she said she kept hearing this crack. And she ignored it because she was, trying to stay in the moment. And she's like, after like the third time, the guy was like, what is that noise? Y'all, it was her knee. She didn't feel it. She didn't feel any pain. She didn't feel the crick. But her knee, every time she would bend her knee, it was not right near his ear. That's all I gotta say. Her knee was near his ear. Y'all let your imagination run away with you.
So yeah, that's happened to me. And when I realized that I was popping, that's how I started to integrate massage into my sessions sometimes, right? Massage me, pop me. How many pops can you get out my body? So it became a running joke with my partner, like, how many times can you pop me in this one session, if we're going to call it a session, right? So it's taking something like that. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just popped all over the place. How do you take it and run with it? Do you pop? You need to pop it. Every session you have sex, you need to pop.
What do you mean you need to pop? Oh, pop it before.
Something in your body needs to pop
that
your
stretching
back.
will help that.
Yes. Relieving that stress, right? And sometimes when you're doing different physical activities, it relaxes your body and pops that little knot out your shoulder. Do you ever have a knot in your shoulder?
Oh, yeah. That's why I love my stress.
Hint to the wise is always sufficient. The best thing, the reason why I like from the back sometimes, right? I'm going to give you a secret, is that when somebody's behind you and they're going in from the back and that shoulder and they go into that shoulder, you're relieving me the pressure in my body in so many ways. Believable. Try it with your partner at home and I'm sure you will have more than just holiday sex.
That's what I want to talk about real quick. Real quick. Sex. We got time? Just real quick. Okay, real quick. When I have heard this, but I mostly heard it on TV. I don't think there's anybody in my life that has shared it or would admit to that. But what makes I'm sorry, y'all. What makes people, is it health? Let me say this real quick. I also know that our bodies, it's not always about aging. But that's what we're talking about because that's the show, right? But I also know that sometimes you have restrictions because of your health. Like we kind of touched on it, hypertension, diabetes, depression, PTSD, trauma. Those things will help. Will hinder you as well. So
two perfectly healthy people. Let's just take all the other cards out.
Right.
And it's two perfectly healthy people.
Excuse me.
Yeah, but yes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else.
So two perfectly healthy people. Again, I coach, right? Mm-hmm. So this is why I know things and I've experienced things as well. Mm-hmm. Being a person who believes in loving many and being an open lifestyle, mm-hmm. I get to see different things from different perspectives. Mm-hmm. If it's two females in a relationship with a man, you get to see how we are. Mm-hmm. The interaction is amazing, right? Or two men and a female, the interaction is totally different. But with the holiday sex, what happens a lot, life gets busy.
Oh, that's all it is.
It really is getting busy, and also not really being honest about your sexual desires and where you are. Mm-hmm. If it's an important part of your relationship. A lot of times, especially at this age, men married women they thought were like their mother.
That's usually what they go for.
Right. So they put
cheat
that
on her with the other
right. Right. That part. So let's go ahead and break all that down.
Some of them.
Not all the brothers.
Not all the brothers.
But a lot of times what happens, I have a lot of men that come to me that they're saying they're trying to recharge their sex life because they don't want to go cheat. So there are brothers out there that don't want to cheat, but then their spouse doesn't want to be with them because they're too tired or this or they're not where they want to be in life. Mm-hmm. So holiday sex becomes, well, if you do this for me, I'll give you sex.
We bartering now.
We barter sex. In relationships and marriages, a lot of not all, but a lot of marriages, when they've been married for a while, they start to barter sex, male and female. So that's one of the biggest things, that they use sex as a weapon, as I said earlier, or a tool to get what they want. And not what it's intended for, which is a connection and intimacy and a growth thing and the whole spiritual component of sexuality as well. And just relieving stress. They use it as a bartering point, which is crazy.
I feel very blessed that I've never had to have that experience. But I have heard people say, oh, it's his birthday, so I'm going to do blank. I'm like, it's his birthday.
So I'm going to try to do something.
Yeah,
and then you want it over in 5 minutes.
And then the special is like, oh, I didn't know that was special. But I respect.
Right. And a lot of men in our age range, over 50, are dealing with that. Yeah. Women are also, on the flip side, women are dealing with, I just don't want to be bothered sometimes. Mm-hmm. Because we're also going through our hormonal things. Sometimes we're raging and like, oh, I want it all the time, but then we don't want to be bothered most of the time. Mm-hmm. Our annoyance level with BS is at a high level. Mm-hmm. So if you come in the house and throw your socks on the floor, the rest of the day is ruined, right? Instead of just dealing with the socks, we'll take it out. Well, I don't want you to touch me later. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the huge things that happen with the holiday sex. Well, it is Christmas, so maybe we can... I'm gonna be extra nice.
You actually have to help clients like
oh, that. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I know I sound green.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I've only seen that on TV.
With married couples or long-term committed relationships, that's a huge thing. I don't care what the genders are, if it's male, female, if it's female, female, whatever the rationale is, or even if it's an open relationship with poly, it's still the same dynamics. Mm-hmm. But then on the flip side, you have single men at this age. So if you're going through the divorce, then everybody thinks you just out here hitting everything that comes through. Mm-hmm. So how do you deal with your sexuality as a mature person? What's the rules of sex when you're in your 50 plus? That's a huge thing that comes to me from male and female when they're divorced or widowed or what have you. I
think if you live past 50, there should be no rules, because I think you've done, that's a huge deal, huge milestone. After 60, you really don't get. Oh, sorry.
You really don't.
Yeah.
Really
so don't. Yeah, wow.
But I live with rules because I've had to keep my life separated because of the things I've done in my life, and things weren't accepted. But I've never really lived by rules. So when people say that, I'm like, but you didn't deal with that in your 20s. Yeah. But then we still have to deal with it because we still have to interact with people. That's why you can relate when you talk to your clients, because I've been through that, done that. Even though you look pure and innocent. I am. Yeah, no. So, but you can help. That's why you can relate. I've also been through a lot, and I understanding the trainings of it and that type of thing, which is why my niche is my community, my 50 plus community, my people of color. Yeah. That's who I go to first. Right. I can help other people, but that's my first go to. Because it's missing in our communities. Wow, I gotta sit with that for a minute. Yeah, sit with that. Okay. Whew. Yeah. Thank you, Mistress Angela. I think so. I think we've unpacked a lot. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. You see me right now. I'm in my head thinking that there's something I'm forgetting to say. Go ahead. It may be, but my gifts to my birthday was recent. So hey, happy birthday! And what I do for people, I always like to give love when people give me love for my birthday, right? Aww. And one of the things I would say, and we always say this, I've been saying this for years, orgasm a day keeps the stress away. So if you are overly stressed, I say take a moment and see what it feels like to have an orgasm and see how you feel afterwards. I'm just saying, hand to the wise is always sufficient.
You're right. You love that.
One of my teachers told me that when I was younger,
Yeah,
and I used to roll my eyes when she used to say
and now
it.
look at you.
And I understand it completely. My North Carolina crew knows.
She probably watching you and saying, "I told her
No,
that."
she passed away years ago.
Okay.
I loved her.
Well, now her spirit's with you.
When she used to hit me in the hand with the ruler. Okay.
Why was she doing that, Angela?
My mouth.
Oh, wow. Can't imagine.
And it's secure.
I know what I was gonna say as far as like the sex plus what you were talking about plus 50 and making a big deal and not being bothered. I think a lot of if we as women, I can't speak for all women, but have more support, especially when there's kids involved that are under the age of dealing with themselves. I think if my partner were more supportive, that's not my situation now. I'm just using it as a scenario. That I would have more energy.
Absolutely.
You know, if you could take, Bobby to the game and not me take Bobby to the game while I'm taking, my daughter somewhere else, and I'm not all over the place, I won't be so exhausted and I'll be more there for you. And I think it goes both ways.
It does.
I think if you let me know you're thinking about me throughout the day, that we're not gone from each other for 10, 12 hours, and then you just think, then you come home and I'm cooking or whatever. I know that sounds real traditional. A lot of people, that's not the life anymore. I still like that life though. I don't have that life right now.
A lot of times men
but I do like to cook for
the
people.
men are at home.
Right, and the men, that's true. The men could be at home. Whoever is doing the heavy lifting. Let me just say that. I don't want to make it about gender because it's not. It's about whoever's doing the heavy lifting. And some people may say, well, we're both doing heavy lifting. Right? But then, so let's support each other mentally and spiritually and emotionally so that we can get to the physical.
And that's hard.
Yeah, but we can. It takes practice, like everything else.
It does.
It takes practice. If you practice it, it'll be beneficial to everybody, and it'll be a better world.
Absolutely, be vulnerable.
If more people were having more orgasms, the
my God,
the world be a better place, right?
And everybody's skin will be glowing.
Yeah, and nobody wants to fight.
Road rage will go down. Just think about it for a minute.
See less videos of people fighting at Walmart.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Be vulnerable. Have an orgasm. Be happy for like 5 minutes. Just try it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Mistress Angela.
No problem.
Good to have you again.
Thank you for having me.
See you next month, first Sunday of the month.
Yes.
I appreciate you all. Please share, like, and comment. Please send this to your friends in different places. Share so we can grow and do more things and be on longer. And
it's an open lifestyle.
I can afford the crew longer. He says open lifestyle.
Sharing.
Yes, sharing. And we're going to talk about that
next
poly
time.
lifestyle.
We're going to talk about
that. How the balance of that and the terror of it. There's a
and
lot of people scared to death and very uncomfortable with even the thought of it. And so, there's no conversion here. We're not trying to convert nobody. Right? But we want to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about that. Okay, so you guys stay tuned. Let's see, next Sunday is health. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have you know what? I should leave it as a surprise. I was going to say, we're going to have what do you call it? A person who helps you work out. I just had a senior moment.
A trainer.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. A special trainer who's going to be talking about different ways to get that body or keep that body, because some of y'all are looking fantastic already at 50 plus on our next show. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget, I'm your host at About This Asian Thing. Black don't crack, but what about the other shit? Don't forget, don't count the years in your life. Count the life in your years.
I like that.
Peace. Thank you.
Peace.